Bob's Boneyard, where we're all about barkers, blood, books, boxes, and birds. In my previous reviews, I would give a summary, and then give spoilers, and then give you the horror elements, and my pints of blood on my blood scale, which tells you how bloody and gory the movie is. But for my future videos, I've decided to change it up. I'm gonna be giving the horror elements first, and then the blood scale, and then a summary, so that you can have more information before I give you the spoilers. I'm testing that out. Hopefully you guys like that, because I was thinking that would be better for people that want to have more information and then stop before the spoilers happen. So we're gonna give that a try. I also want to give a shout out to Caitlin. Thank you very much, Caitlin, for this movie suggestion. Today I'm going to be reviewing the movie The Skeleton Key. It's a 2005 movie directed by Ian Softly, starring Kate Hudson and Jenna Rollins. The main horror elements in this movie are supernatural and suspenseful. The supernatural elements in it include voodoo and witchcraft, which has spells and chants and things of that nature. And for the suspenseful elements, it has a lot of build-up and scary music and jump scares. On my blood scale, I give this a 1 pint of blood out of 5, because there's blood, but there's barely blood. The Skeleton Key is about a woman who sees an ad in a newspaper to take care of a woman's dying old husband. So it's a hospice type of job. So she takes the job and realizes that there's something wrong with the house and the people living in it. It has a lot of voodoo objects laying around the house, and something's not quite right, and it shows her throughout the movie investigating and uncovering the hidden secrets of this house and of this family. All right, you guys know what's next. If you wanna hear the spoilers, stick around. This movie shows death at the very beginning. It's not very scary, but it is sad. It has Kate Hudson working at a hospital, taking care of an old man who's on his deathbed, and he dies, and it has his dead body. But it's tame. It's not scary, but it is sad, and it is a dead body. One scary part that I really liked that stood out to me was when the woman was changing the old man's bed sheets, and she saw written in black charcoal, it said, "Help me." And that was a turning point for her, where she realizes that this man could be in danger and that something is wrong and that she needs to keep figuring out what to do for him. Another cool thing that they showed was the voodoo room. It's this locked door that she finally was able to get open, that they didn't want her to go in at first. And it has all the voodoo dolls and jars and different things all around the room. One of them that she was holding, it looked like it was a ginormous tongue in the jar. I could be wrong, I don't know exactly, but that's what it looked like to me. It looked like a big tongue. And she heard the woman was coming, so she was like, and you know, of course she dropped it and it broke, and then you see the tongue on the ground, and it was pretty cool. Something I really like in this movie is the use of the flashbacks, and it's very, I think it's artsy. They're in black and white, they kind of flash like old film. It's scattery and sketchy, and it adds to the horror element, and it makes the flashbacks really fun. In one of the flashbacks, it shows two people being hung from a tree, you know, hanging, and then they're burned, and they could be burning alive unless they had already died from the hanging. But anyway, the point is that it shows them hanging and burning from the tree. The use of mirrors in this movie is also significant, because mirrors can be considered a portal, and mirrors are used in horror movies a lot because of the reflection and turning mirrors, and then you turn it and it's like, oh, there's that scary ghost type of a thing. So mirrors are used in this a lot, and it was a good way for them to add the horror element and showing, they don't really show ghosts until the very end, but it shows a ghost girl and boy in the mirror, and it's pretty cool. Another fun part, this is probably the scariest visual thing that happened. The girl was having a nightmare, and in the nightmare she sits up abruptly, and it shows her eyes are stitched closed and her lips are stitched closed, so she looks like one of those voodoo dolls, and she's just like, and it's really creepy looking. It's scary to imagine waking up and you can't talk or see because everything's stitched closed, but then it snaps back to reality and she wakes up and she's like, oh, it's just a nightmare. At the end of the movie, the old woman falls down the stairs, and this is the bloodiest part, and it still wasn't even that bloody. It was just like you could see blood trickling down her leg, and her leg was broken, and they kind of showed they barely showed her bone breaking. I didn't even notice it the first time I watched it. That's how subtle it was. And her legs are broken and bloody, and her face is bloody because of falling. So that's why I have 1 pint of blood on my blood scale, because it's there, but it's barely there. This movie was definitely about the suspense of it, because they didn't need blood and they didn't rely on it being bloody and gory, and we didn't need it for it to be scary. It was scary without it. This was one of those movies where the ending really, really stuck with me. It was crazy, unfortunate, off-putting, unsettling, creepy. It was a great ending. And because of that, I am not going to say how it ends, because it really, really affected me. I was thinking about it for months afterwards. The thought of anything like that happening is so unpleasant and just gets under your skin. It made my skin crawl. Just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. So I recommend you watching it. If you really, really don't want to watch it, you can message me and I'll just tell you how it ends. But I don't think I want to publicize it because it was just too good. Kind of like what I said about The Lodge. So that's it for the skeleton key. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment, tell me if you like the skeleton key or if you've seen the skeleton key, what your thoughts on it are. And if you have any other horror movie suggestions that you'd like me to review, I would love to hear your suggestions, so please leave a comment. Thank you for visiting Bailee Bob's Boneyard. See you next time.